Hello! Welcome back, or welcome for the first time. Uh, I'm really not good at intros. Gotta be said. I might just not bother in future. Yeah. Yeah. So, in the 60s, a little known series called Star Trek started, and it did pretty well. Then it went away. Then it came back. Then it got a spin off. And Next Generation carried on. And then Deep Space Nine came along. And then Voyager came along. And then Enterprise. And then it went away again for a little while. Which was a sad time for some. Yeah. But here to talk about Voyager. Because it's gotta be said, until basically, apart from, if you're gonna watch it at some point, apart from maybe like 3 or 4 episodes, something like that, Basics is worth watching. There's, can't actually remember what it's called now. There's one called, might be like Factions, something like that, but one where Kazon groups are trying to have a little alliance. Maybe alliances actually. Now that sounds more likely. But yeah, that one's a pretty good one. Basics 2-parter, and there's a few okay ones, but pretty much until you get to the end of season 3 with the Scorpion 2-parter, Voyager's just really not good. I mean, I know there are some people that love it, and fair enough, that's cool. You love it, you love it. It's just one of those things. But personally, I felt like it wasn't. It was a bit of a, apart from it just being Star Trek, it was a bit of a hard watch until like season 3, and even then, very end of season 3. Then obviously, 7 and 9, it appealed a lot more, but that's not really the point. But yeah, there were things they could have done to make Voyager better. So let's talk about that, shall we? Okay, so let's just get out of the way. I'm not just gonna jump on it and like, how to improve Voyager. Kill Janeway, make someone else the captain, move on. I'm not doing that. I'm not just kill Janeway, whatever. I'm not a fan of Janeway. I don't know. I mean, throughout the series there are some episodes where she makes some pretty good decisions, and oh, badass Kathy. Hey. But then there are quite a lot of instances where it's like, how exactly did she become captain without just knowing the right people? And so I just not a fan, but I know some people are, and she was not the problem with the show. So yeah, not doing that. So let's talk about Kes, shall we? And, again, she has her moments. There's hardly any, but she has her moments. I feel like you could take Kes out of Voyager and not really notice. So I think they should have. Don't have Kes, or use her properly. Like, there's so many times in Voyager where the stuff that her and Neelix do could have been done by one or the other. So get rid of Neelix, or you get rid of Kes. And then they can do most of the bits that the other one does. The love triangle with Tom Paris, maybe not. But that would have been interesting. I mean, Discovery's got a gay couple on board. One of their top engineers used to be married to a lady. If the storyline from Star Trek Online is canon, then Landry from the start of Discovery, she was looking to get married to a lady. So, Neelix and Tom Paris. Why not? I mean, the DS9 writers never got to follow up on the Garak-Bashir relationship that they wanted to do for the entire 7 seasons. So why not? Combine the roles of Kes and Neelix into one person. And, maybe it's Tom, just sort of experimenting. And then you go on to, it's like, actually, no, my heart's not really in it. Then he ends up with B'Elanna, because that was, that was a nice pairing, so I don't really want to lose that. But, yeah, you didn't need Kes, or you give her something to do. Because, the fact that she got let go because they couldn't think of anything to do with her after 7-9 came along. It's like, alright, well, she had 3 seasons, and we've completely used up her entire story. But apparently it was a choice between her and Harry Kim, and Garrett Wang had won. He made it onto a list of like the 100 sexiest people on telly or something like that, which, okay, that's, yeah, okay, fair enough. So yeah, it was like, well, he's quite popular because people find him attractive, and Kes is attractive, but she's not on this list, so, and yeah. But, yeah, either come up with something for her to do, or just it's the whole Chekhov's gun thing. If a gun is on the table and it's not fired by the end of the play or film or whatever, then it didn't need to be on the table. If it's not fired, it doesn't need to be on the table. If Kes isn't going to do something important at some point, she doesn't need to be there. And say, you could have had it that she gets rescued and she ends up doing the Neelix stuff. That's cool. Do that. That's fine. Otherwise, she doesn't need to be there. Another problem with Voyager was that it's Federation ship gets thrown to the other side of the galaxy. They're alone. They've got no backup. They're running low on fuel. They're running low on supplies. And it's an uncharted part of the galaxy. Ooh, quite exciting. Except that the running low on fuel and supplies thing wasn't an issue after the first few episodes. Running low on spare parts wasn't an issue because they're constantly replacing shuttlecraft and constantly replacing torpedoes and things like that, which, okay, maybe they're replicating the bits and they're doing that off screen, but it's never addressed. I've seen other videos where people have actually gone through and counted up, and according to like technical manuals and things, Voyager could have like 2 shuttles ready to go at a time, and maybe space for like a third one, something like that. And throughout the series, they lost at least a dozen shuttles. I mean, they lost the Delta Flyer at least once, so but they've apparently got the fuel and supplies to replicate the bits to replace these shuttles, if that is what's happening off screen. Again, in the first episode, they say that they've got like something like sort of 38 photon torpedoes, and yet by the final episode, they've fired like 50 or 60 odd. Again, maybe it is happening off screen, and they don't need to show us people replicating a bit of hull plating from an industrial replicator, which again, according to technical manuals, Voyager didn't have on it. They didn't have a industrial replicator because quite big. But I think maybe they were doing things, but just an episode, where it's like, oh, we need to replace that hull plating. So it's going to take us a little while to replicate what we need. We'll get to it. Okay, fine. Then you do your thing. It's all good. But they never show us. They never mention it. They never even hint that that's what's happening. Pardon me, while. And it's, you don't need to focus on it. You don't need to show someone making every step of it. You don't need a sort of Iron Man style scene where like Tom Paris is there in a like sweaty in a vest, tang, tang, tang. I suppose it'd probably be Balana, which actually we do need that scene. I didn't realise, but we do need that scene. Okay. But the problem was, you got all this, we've got no backup, we've got no allies, and it should be quite a dark series. I don't know. You got this ship alone, uncharted territory, thousands of light years away from home, and yet every episode, the carpets look like they've been freshly shampooed. All the handrails are like perfectly polished, and as the series went on, it maybe needed to get a bit grimy. You look at something like Battlestar Galactica, and there are bits like the bit where they jump into the atmosphere of the planet and they're plummeting, and the ship's basically on fire whilst it's firing fighters out, which I still love that scene. It's one of my favourite sci-fi scenes ever. But then you get to like the final episode, and there's still scorch marks from that event. And as the series goes on, the ship picks up more damage, and it looks like it's been through all these adventures and all these battles. Voyager on a weekly basis is perfect again. It gets a hole blasted in the side of it by a Borg sphere or something. By the next episode, everything's perfectly fine, and all the damage has been repaired, and it's like, well, where's the threat? Everything about it, it's just, I don't know, it just needed higher stakes. Have a couple of episodes where they've stopped off on a planet because they desperately need supplies. Have some of the damage like persistent. Yeah, it means that every season or so, or every few episodes, maybe they're going to have to update the CGI. But that's a lot easier than in the old days when they'd have had to have pretty much built a whole new model or stuck stuff on the outside to make it look damaged. So, yeah, you've got this opportunity to do something brand new with Star Trek. Take some chances. Don't just sort of, oh, well, yeah, it's in a uncharted part of the galaxy, and all there's threats around every nebula. Ooh, are they going to survive till they get home? Yes, because every threat is, even the major threats are minor threats. And that's kind of a problem, really. But, yeah, I just feel that it should have made it a bit darker. And, yeah, I mean, Ronald D. Moore was involved in it, so basically make it Battlestar Galactica, because that's kind of what I'm getting at. But yeah, bit darker, take more chances, raise the stake, give it some stakes, for God's sake. It's just... So, if you're watching this, you probably know a lot about Voyager. But just in case, Voyager sent to the other side of the galaxy by an alien because they're hunting for a ship full of terrorist types called the Maquis. And then Maquis ship gets destroyed. Janeway integrates them into her crew because when they were launched across the galaxy, some of the crew died. And, it's like, like clean cut Starfleet crew. We've been fighting for our lives for years. Maquis crew. They're one crew. Oh, that's quite exciting. Just the complete style clash there. And oh man, how are they going to coexist? Very easily, apparently, because these, yes, some of the people in the Maquis used to be in Starfleet, not all of them. Some of them were just farmers that were protecting their homes, and now they're working on a Federation starship, and they're apparently perfectly fine with going along with all the Starfleet rules from day one. I mean, yeah, there were 2 or 3 episodes where there was a bit of tension. Your chief engineer doesn't get on with our chief engineer. Oh, and headbutts them once. And then that's pretty much it. It was your chief engineer is going to be our chief engineer, even though she headbutted our chief engineer. Or punched him or something. I don't know. And then, yeah, that was it. A couple of episodes of tension, and then it's like, oh yeah, we might as well all just be Starfleet, I suppose. Even the captain of the Maquis ship is perfectly fine with just being the first officer. There could have been something better done there. There's an episode later on called Worst Case Scenario, where there's a holodeck program where it's like a training program for what if the Maquis start an uprising and try and take the ship. That, season 1, maybe part of season 2, doesn't have to be like an ongoing all the way to the end thing, because at some point they're going to get along, because if nothing else they have to if they're going to survive. But just have, I say, season 1 is them learning to work together. The Maquis don't really want to follow Starfleet rules because they're not really used to it, and they haven't chosen to be on this ship. It was either this or get blown up. Starfleet people aren't particularly happy about it because they were sent to hunt them down because they're terrorists. And they're not going to be, some members of each crew will probably just sort of fall in line straight away because maybe they were former Starfleet or they were part of the calls because of a friend. I don't know, but yeah, some of them are just gonna get along. Fair enough, that's fine. Some of them really, really aren't, and then it's gonna take a little while for them to be on the same page. And I'd quite like to have seen a bit more of that. I say, it only needs to be like season 1, maybe first few episodes of season 2. Maybe you have a maybe you have like the basics 2-parter, but at the end of season 1. Obviously, it'd have to change a bit because by then the whole Seska thing wouldn't have happened fully unless you rush through that. But then Seska was a pretty good character, so sort of doing away with that storyline too quickly, nah thanks. But the crew being stranded on an alien planet with just their wits to survive, because the Marquis, I say a lot of them have come from like farming backgrounds and stuff and were only fighting because they had to. So those skills are coming pretty handy on an alien planet where you haven't got technology. So they can help, they can sort of bond with the Starfleet crew because they're stranded on this planet together. They've got to get along, otherwise they are all bollocksed. And yeah, by the end of that, so like the first step, if it's a 2-part, first episode of season 2 is they've come together and they've survived this thing, and then you move on. You had this first season where they kind of hate each other for the most part, but now they're on the same page. They're striving towards the same goal of getting home, and that way you've got the tension of these two completely different crews, but you're not just sort of going, oh yeah, actually now we decided they're perfectly fine working together now. Don't know what fuss is about. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's I don't think that's too much to ask for. That these people that hate the Federation maybe hate the Federation for more than an episode. But well, I don't know. What do I know? I'm not a TV writer. Yeah. I do the Picard maneuver, and I sit in my chair like I'm a Starfleet captain. I am obsessed. Yeah. Another one that, and apparently this was part of the plan at some point. Year of Hell, like the Year of Hell storyline. Apparently, at one point was meant to be a season-long story arc instead of just a 2-part episode. Yes, please. That would have been awesome. A bit like the Xindi storyline was in Enterprise. Sort of the ship takes damage, and they run into all sorts of hijinks and shenanigans with new aliens and stuff. But there's that overarching threat of the Krenim that every now and then rears its ugly head and they have to deal with. Yes, just so much yes. That would have been amazing. If nothing else, it means that we'd have seen that massive Krenim time ship a lot more. And I'm there for that because I love that ship. It's just, it's such a beast. It's just, yeah. Yeah, that's all I really need to say about that. Just Year of Hell, where the ship is just getting its ass kicked on a regular basis, and it's taking damage, crew are dying, and yeah, but just spread it out, and then when Tom and Chakotay get kidnapped, that can be like the mid-season finale thing. Just yeah, they get kidnapped. The ship does a runner, and then that's it. You have your mid-season break, and it's like, and now I've got to wait like 3 months to find out what's happened to. Oh, you boogers! But I'm going to be bloody watching. But you boogers. Yeah. Another problem Voyager had at times was this whole thing of, we're stranded far from Earth, and we need to get back to Earth, and it's going to take us a long time to get back to Earth. Except you have quite a few episodes where, they have some sort of interaction with Earth. I mean, yeah, it'll be things like, or at least the Alpha and Beta Quadrant. Yeah, not necessarily Earth directly. Like, there's one where they transport a Romulan through a wormhole, and they send him back. When he goes back, they send him with a message, sort of let Starfleet know we're all right, and we're trying to get home, but it might be a little while, so don't put the kettle on just yet. Fine. Then you have another one where one of the crew is sort of transported back in time to before he, like a alternate timeline thing where he never joined the Voyager crew, but he's on Earth. Future's End, leave that alone because I quite like that. They go back to 20th century Earth and accidentally become a UFO, which, as cliffhangers go, that was pretty cool. Just monitoring the news, and then there's blurry footage of a UFO sighting, and it's Voyager. That was pretty bloody good. I liked that. And then it goes off, and I can't remember if that was a mid-season thing or what, but it was, it was great. So yeah, that, okay, we'll leave that in because it was important that they were on Earth. And it was season 3, I think. So, because Kess is in this, so it's, season 2. I think it is early mid-season 3. But I can't actually remember. So that's fine. That's sort of near the midway point of the series. That's fine. You have that. But then the rest of the stuff where they're, where they get sent back to Earth temporarily, or, you just don't, because, again, it just doesn't make it feel like they're that isolated. Like another Starfleet ship could just rock up at any time, and we'll get to that. But, yeah, you just want them, if they're supposed to be so isolated from Earth, isolate them. That's fine. Have this ship on its own, no backup at all, and just, don't just keep bringing them back for a visit and then send them off again, because I say then it just feels like they're just not really in any sort of jeopardy, because there could be a friend popping up any time. Then, once you get to like season 6 and 7, the stuff with Barclay and the Pathfinder project and things like that, that's fine. You do that stuff, and then that, because that's the final 2 seasons, you're sort of gearing up, right from the start of season 6, you're pretty much building towards the end. It's like, right, it's coming. Might as well start building up now. You get a bit of a run up. And yeah, that's fine. That, once you're near the end, anything goes. It's all good. before that, give them a bit of time away, for God's sake. But, yeah. So, the Equinox. Yeah, the Equinox. I really liked that two-parter. I thought it was pretty good. Another Starfleet ship got sent across the galaxy by the same alien as Voyager. It's a smaller, slower ship, so it's kind of how'd they manage to get this far out? And there's stuff, and Janeway and Voyager are all just they're like Starfleet, la, we are as gods and stuff. But and then the Equinox crew like yeah, that that Prime Directive. That's that, yeah. No, totally followed that one. Oh god. And yeah, so it was cool. And having this nice, having this other Starfleet ship turn up, and it's cool. And at the end they end up becoming one crew again, and one member of that crew makes it past that two-part. I can't remember her name, but there's a blonde woman from the Equinox crew that survives and makes it onto Voyager's crew, and she's in, I think it's the episode after Equinox Part 2, and that's it. She's never seen again. The rest of the crew that were brought on board to be part of Voyager's crew, never seen, never mentioned. I mean, they're stripped of rank, and they're told that they're going to be doing, like the people in lower decks would look down on these people, is basically how it's put across. But if you're going to make a point of saving some of this crew and have a scene where you give them a dressing down, even say the characters' names, and say, oh, you're going to be stripped of rank, and you're going to be doing the stuff that no one else can be bothered doing. Maybe have some episodes where they're doing these things, because I say one of them comes back for one episode, and then that's it. They are never mentioned again. And I can't remember if it was before this or after this. There was an episode where they had like the lowest, sort of most underachieving crew members get taken away on an away mission. One of them could have been a member of the Equinox crew, surely. I don't know. Just why give these characters names? Why not just have a scene in the ready room or on the bridge, Janeway and Chakotay talking, and it's like, so what we're going to do with these Equinox crew? I think we're just gonna, have them in a spacesuit painting the outside of the ship until we get home. If you know, you know. But yeah, don't give the characters names if you're then never going to mention them again. Again, it's the whole Chekhov's gun thing. And I'm quite pleased I managed to make 2 references to that in one video. Ooh. Yeah. But yeah, you got these survivors, and you've got potential there for, new crew members, new characters to have new backgrounds that can, run into new storylines. It's a chance to, make just sort of refresh the cast and crew a little bit. And then you get, you get a bit more yeah, a bit more variety, a bit more, I don't know, sort of expansion. Ow. Random itch. Okay, never mind. That's fine. But yeah, you can do a bit more because you've got these new people. Oh, yeah, I wonder what their story is. Let's find out. Especially when you've got like 2 seasons to be able to do it. You know, they don't have to end up being bridge officers. Although it seemed like the female crew member was maybe going to be someone important at some point. But again, nothing. Never mentioned again. Never seen again. You know, just gone. I think Janeway killed him. But, oh yeah, we'll integrate them into the crew. And then just flushed them out an airlock. Tuvix, the whole lot of them. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there were plans and they just like, they decided against it. Maybe there were plans and then the people playing the parts didn't want to come back or got parts in something else. I don't know. Probably never know what happened there. Okay. Final point, I think. Yeah. Final point. Kill Janeway. No. Shush now. No. Vogue. Quay. But yeah, so I mean, you know, if we're paying attention here, I did say not just kill Janeway. So what I said was true from a certain point of view. Yes, I've turned into a very bad Obi-Wan Kenobi impression. This is not good, because now I cannot stop it, even though I have the high ground. Yeah, sorry, don't know what I was about. If you're new to this channel, you're starting to see why it's named that, aren't you? You're starting to understand. Randomman. Yeah. Yeah, it's not just a DC Universe Online character. It's, yeah. So yeah, kill Janeway. And, you know, oh my god, I suppose it's just because she's a female captain, is it? No. Because, you know, like Giorgio in Discovery. She's very cool. Very cool captain. Hopefully, Burnham, as captain, maybe won't be doing everything. Because that's the problem. She does everything. But as captain, she can't do everything. She has to rely on her crew. So hopefully, Burnham will be a bit less annoying. Knowing it, we can hope. Nice. Yeah. This video is sponsored by Corsten Press. It's not, but yeah, I love your apple drink. So if you want to send me some of those, I will happily haul myself out to you for you. One version of that is probably illegal. The one that isn't, we'll go with that for now. But yeah, so in Scorpion Part 2, the ship is ship's attacked and Janeway is badly hurt, and it's maybe she's gonna die. side of Letter. I know this is, Scorpion's like end of season 3. And you're killing Janeway off quite early. We'll get to that. But Janeway gets seriously injured. Her and Chakotay have been sort of butting heads through the whole story. Janeway dies in the middle of a big crisis thing. The Borg and Species 8472 are destroying each other. One more successfully than the other. But, Janeway and Chakotay have been, at odds about how to deal with this situation. In the middle of this situation, Janeway dies. She's injured, and Chakotay has to take command. And then by the end of the episode, she's dead, and the ship is his. All of a sudden, you've got the captain of the ship, like the new captain, is unsure of what to do, and so he's got to try and fit into that new role. At the same time, you've got 7 of 9 who's been disconnected from the Borg, and she's got to try and adjust to that role. And then that would have been quite a good way to build whatever you think of the eventual romance between the two of them, it's fine. Why not? She's gonna hook up with anyone. Why not Chakotay? But whatever you think of that, just that gives them that. Look, we're both facing a completely new situation here, and neither of us is entirely sure how to deal with it. So straight away, you've got that common ground friendship, which over the courses of like season 4, 5, 6, 7 can organically turn into romance. Like all the people that wanted Janeway and Chakotay to hook up. And not entirely sure why, but yeah. But you got all those seasons to build up a natural relationship that actually maybe they could end up together. But yeah, I think it would have been a good point to just do away with Janeway, and it refreshes the series, and that's Star Trek's never killed off the main captain of the show before. Obviously Discovery then went on to take the piss with this concept. We've got a new captain. Oh, he's dead. Oh, we've got a new captain. Oh, he's gone off. Oh, we've got a new captain. He's gone home. Oh, we've got a new captain. Okay. So yeah, the other place to do it, again, going back to the previous one, Equinox Part 2. Because end of Equinox Part 1, the bridge is getting attacked by these alien things, and it's like, Captain, look out! Janeway turns around, one of them lunges at her face, and then it goes off. And that was like the end of season cliffhanger. Which, I think that was an end of season 2 part. I can't actually remember. But, yeah, she gets hurt, and it's like, is she going to die? Is she not? I don't really know. And then, once you've, apparently in real life, there were contract negotiations, and they weren't sure if she was going to re-sign. So it's like, let's just leave her life in the balance, and then if she, signs a new contract, she survives. Yay! If she doesn't sign, then we can kill her off easily enough, and that was a fatal blow, and start the next episode just a character kneeling over her stunt double or something, and just saying, the captain's dead. And it's like, oh my god, before there's even opening titles. And yeah, again, she dies there. Chakotay takes over. It's, And then you've got like the final couple of seasons of him adjusting, and is he going to be a good captain? Is he not? Is he going to not really cope with the pressure and just give the ship to Tuvok? It could have been, it could have been an interesting way to deal with it. And then, say, it's not just killer for the sake of it. There's 2 points in the story where Janeway dying would have made sense and made quite an impact. Even people that didn't like the character, can be like, oh wow, that's bold. But no, because even with something like Voyager, they played it safe, and that was a problem. But yeah, thank you for attending my TED Talk. I'm sorry, it did kind of turn into a bit of a lecture. Okay, a quite long lecture. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, that's how I would have, if I was to remake Voyager, that's what I'd have done. Let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully it won't be too much. Oh well, of course you killed Janeway, because I tried doing it at points that would have made sense, not just for the sake of it. If this was a Star Wars thing, just straight away kill Jar Jar. Thanks for watching. Bye. So yeah, I put some thought into it instead of just execution style. But yeah, let me know what you think, and hopefully you'll subscribe and join me for future videos, because if there's anything that you want me to have a think about and try and remake, then by all means pop them in the comments. Grateful for any suggestions, and yeah, I will see you next time, hopefully. Till then, yeah, so bye for now.